coming
You let a
up.
woman take over a man's job?
No, she took over being the pastor. It's not a man's job.
That's a man's job.
Not where I come from, my friend. That is not a man's job. That is an everybody's job.
Would you ever let a woman be over you like that?
Well, I don't think being a pastor is being over or being under. And yes, but I would totally let a woman be over me in any kind of authority. I think that deep inside of me is racial animus and racial frustration and racial fear.
What caused you as a white man to treat blacks in the wrong way? Were you raised that way?
I was, yeah.
Did your parents teach you that way, or you just naturally became that way?
Well, it was both my parents' contribution to the teaching of my life, the rest of my society, my own contributions. I am Black Lives Matter just as much as anybody else is.
So you said that you are Black Lives Matter too?
Sure.
Are they giving you some of that $90 million they received?
No.
They have not. Well, must not be Black Lives Matter. You look pretty white to me.
Welcome, Culture Warriors. Roland here. Happy Sunday to you all. As you've seen in the intro, you can see a confused guest. He's actually a pastor. You know what? I'll just let you watch the video and enjoy it. And I want you to give me a feedback at the end of the video. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Without wasting time, let's get into it.
20 years, and it really felt like it was time for the community to have another person in the role that I had been in for all that time. And so I was proud to slide aside and to let Nikki step in and to give leadership to this community. So
you said Nikki?
Nikki.
And Nikki, a man or a woman?
A woman.
You let a woman take over a man's job?
No, she took over being the pastor. It's not a man's job.
That's a man's job.
Not where I come from, my friend. That is not a man's job. That is an everybody's job.
Would you ever let a woman be over you like that?
Well, I don't think being a pastor is being over or being under. And yes, but I would totally let a woman be over me in any kind of authority. In any kind of authority. And it's, because that's how you share humanity, because in Christ there is no male or female. Jesse, you know that. And so we don't play those games in the community of Jesus. And so we don't bind each other up into simple separations between male and female. We say everybody's called to be a leader.
But that's not true. Because you say it doesn't make it true.
No, I know. I'm saying it because it is true. I'm not making it true by saying it. I'm saying it because I do believe it to be true.
God did not create women to lead. He created them to follow. And the man came from God, and the woman came
that
from
doesn't make no sense.
And the woman came from the man. He created the woman from the man, and her job is to follow and not to lead. It's not in her nature.
I don't believe that at all, and I don't know who told you that, but that isn't gospel truth, my friend Jesse.
Did the woman come from the man?
Nor female. Well, Jesus came from Mary, my friend. So I don't know what you're talking about. Came from, but in the Gospels of Jesus, Jesus is born of Mary, and in the Garden of Eden, they're both made in the image of God, male and female. So whatever story somebody told you about women being derivative from man and somehow that a male is not supposed to be led by a woman, that story isn't true in the Bible. That story isn't true in our day. That story has never been true, even though some people say it.
Are you reading a gay Bible or something?
No, I read the normal Bible. I don't know. Do you have a gay one? I've never seen a gay Bible.
It sounds like a homosexual Bible. But let me ask, let's go back to something you said.
Yeah.
Did God create the man in his image?
Created in God's image, he created them male and female, the Bible says.
No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. But let me ask you again.
Sure it does.
Let me ask you again. Did God create the man in his image?
Yeah, absolutely. Male and female.
And then once he created the man, did he create the woman from the man?
No, that's not the way the story is told at all.
Oh, the woman didn't come from Adam.
No, they were both created.
No.
Are you talking about the book of Genesis from the Bible? Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm assuming you are too. I just want to make sure.
Stay with me for a minute. Are you saying that the woman did not come, God did not create the woman from man? Are you saying he did not?
That's right, Jesse. I'm going to read it for
Okay.
you. I got it in front of me.
And are
Genesis
you
1:27.
saying
So God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. The New International Version of the Bible. If you'd like me to read it from another version, I'd be glad to.
So let me ask you this, just to have you on record. Are you a pastor, right?
Yeah.
Are you saying that God did not create the woman from the man?
I'm saying God created male and female in the image
No,
of
that's not
God.
what I'm asking you. Are you saying that the woman
God
did
didn't
not?
God-
Are you saying the woman did not? God did not create the woman from the rib of the man.
What I'm saying is that women are not created in any way distinct from men in the eyes of God, or should be in the eyes of humanity. That's what I'm saying.
So, but you're not answering my question. I'm asking you, are you saying that God did not create the woman from the rib?
That is what I'm saying.
Are you saying he did not do it?
What I'm saying is that from the rib. Read that passage for me, Jesse. Pull that up. And read it for me.
I don't want to do no patches. I'm asking you. I'm just asking you a question. Are you saying God did not create the woman from the rib of the man?
Jesse, that is a question. I don't even understand what the question is.
Give me a yes or no. Are you saying that God did not create
Should we
the
move on
woman?
to something else?
You're saying God did not create the woman from the rib of the man, right?
That's right.
But let me ask. I noticed you have a Black Lives Matter sign right behind you, right?
I do, right there.
And why is that?
Oh, I like the sign, and I like what the sign stands for, that it wants to remind me that I live in a society where very often we want to say that all lives matter, but we live in a way that makes it pretty apparent that a lot of black people's lives don't matter to all of us. And I want to be reminded that they do.
Oh, so you didn't know that all lives matter before you saw a Black Lives Matter sign?
No, I did. What I've recognized is that all lives matter, and we don't treat black lives like they matter, so we need to put a special emphasis on it.
And why don't you treat blacks' lives like they matter? Why is it that you do not treat black lives as they matter?
Well, I want to, and I'm working
why
really
you
hard
don't?
to, and I'm trying to. But I live in a world in which
why is it that you don't? You particularly,
I do.
You don't treat black people's lives like they matter.
Because I think that deep inside of me is racial animus and racial frustration and racial fear.
You're afraid to treat blacks right.
White person, that I live in a way that I often think of my own race as if it's nothing, like it's neutral. And therefore, I don't always treat all people the way that I want to. So I want to remind myself that I live with biases inside my own thinking that cause me to say that some people matter and some people don't. And one of the ways that happens in my life and in my society and in the world that I live in is that oftentimes black people are treated differently. And I don't want to treat them differently. And I know that I have in the past, and I don't want to do it anymore in the future. So I want to remind myself that I need to keep special emphasis on
what caused you as a white man to treat blacks in the wrong way? Were you raised that way?
I was raised in a way that said that racial difference is something that we should lean into, and we should be sure that we're treating some people with more dignity and respect than others. And
your parents taught you that?
Some of that was subtle, and some of it was very outward.
Did your parents teach you to hate white people?
Some of it came from society. And a lot of different ways that people feel like they were really leaning hard into a society that said that
you can hear me?
That racial difference is something we should make a big deal out of.
Your parents taught you to hate black people?
Oh, that's not what I just said.
That's what you said. You said that you, Doug Pratchett, a pastor, did not know how to treat black people. That you treated them in a biased way. Yeah. And so I'm asking you, did your parents teach you that way, or you just naturally became that way?
Well, it was both my parents' contribution to the teaching of my life, the rest of my society, my own contributions. And that's why I take seriously the work I have to do as a person to be sure that I deal with race in an open-eyed way and don't say something like race doesn't matter, because it clearly matters. I mean, obviously, you talk about it every day on your show. We know it matters. And I want to be really careful that I'm doing the work that I have to do, just like you're doing the work you have to do. We all have our work to do.
What's wrong with the blacks that they need to be treated special?
Oh, nothing wrong with them. There's something
So-
wrong with me that I wasn't treating them as an equal. That's
so-
what I'm getting at. I'm not saying they have to be treated special. I'm
So
saying that
you're
treating
taking,
someone
you're
unequally.
paying special attention to the blacks to make sure you treat them special, right?
No, I'm paying special. That's a great question. I'm paying special attention to be sure that I treat people in the way that they should be treated. And my culture and my own choices taught me to treat black people as if they're not equal to everyone else. And I want to be very attentive to that.
Do you love black people?
I do.
You love white people?
I do.
Do you believe that all white people are racist?
No, I don't believe that all white people are racist.
That's what
I
Black
believe-
Lives Matter believe.
Well, I'm Black Lives Matter. I don't believe that. So
But
can we
that's
put an
what
end to
Black
that?
Lives. So did you know
But
that?
I am Black Lives Matter just as much as anybody else is. Like Black Lives Matter is not a certain set of people. It's anybody who claims it.
So you said that you are Black Lives Matter too.
Sure.
Are you? They giving you some of that $90 million they received?
What, did you chip in? How do you know they received $90 million?
Have they given you some of that $90 million?
No.
They have not. Well, you're not. Must not be Black Lives Matter. You look pretty white to me. Do you love the? Do you? Do
You don't think
cater-
Black Lives Matter is only black people, do you?
Were you called by
Waste time.
God?
How's that wasted time, my friend?
Were you called by God?
Yeah, I am called by God. Yes.
And you were called by God, right?
Yes.
But you don't know how to treat everybody the same.
Well, that's not a prerequisite for being called by God, Jesse. That's the whole point. The
So
reason
if
every
God
human
call-
being is called by God, and every human being is called by God to love one another, not as a prerequisite, as a result.
And do you love
That's the gospel.
So do you love everybody?
I am working so hard on loving my God, loving myself, loving my neighbor, and loving my enemy.
Let me
I am
just
doing
ask real
all I
fast. Do
can to
you
work
love?
on that.
As of today, do you love all people?
I am working on it. I sure hope so, but I'll tell you, it sure doesn't seem like it if you look at my life every single day, and I'm sure if you look at
Yeah,
yours
give
too.
me a short-
Well, I'm a beginner at love, Jesse, and I'm doing all that I can to
As
to
a
love
preacher
well.
who's been called by God, as you say, as of this day, you don't love everybody.
What I'm telling you is I am working on loving everybody.
Is that
That's
a yes or
all
no?
I can do. It's not a yes or no. It's I'm working on it. Can you give me a third choice, Jesse?
How are you working on loving everybody? How do you work on loving?
Well, I am doing it in my actions. I'm doing it in my intentions. I'm doing it in my beliefs.
How are you doing it
my
in
money.
your
I'm doing
action?
it with my hands. I'm doing it with my time.
Well, don't
I'm
do it
doing
with
it
your
in the way
hands.
that I respect people.
Hey, don't do it with your hands. All right. How do,
I think you just made a sex joke, Jesse. That's a pretty good one.
how do
I think
you?
that's what.
How do you? What are you doing to in action to love everybody?
Oh, it's with most situations I find myself in, it's different than the one that came just before it. With you, I'm trying to be kind and respectful. With my wife, I'm trying to be more of a servant. With another friend of mine, I'm trying to care for his needs. With another person who I don't know, I'm trying to be sure that I'm caring for their emotional and physical sense of being. Because love is a verb, Jesse. Love is a verb. Love isn't a noun or an adjective. Love is a thing you do, and you're doing that in all of our circumstances. How about you? How are you? How do you love people?
By not hating.
Well, that's how you love people, is to not hate.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Only an attitude. Your love for somebody is only
It's not an
expressed in
attitude. It's your nature. Because if you call by God, you have
What do you
overcome
do
the
to
nature.
love? How do you do your love?
If you have been called by God, you have overcome the nature
but
of evil,
how do
which
you-
is.
how do
hold on,
you
Doc.
do-
Hold on.
how
I'm
do you
answering the
do
question.
your love?
I'm answering the question. If you're called by God, you have overcome the nature of evil, which is of Satan, and now you're of the nature of God, which is of love, and God dwells in you. You have no other choice but to love. It's
But
your
how
nature.
do you do it? How do you do that love?
By returning to the Father.
No,
But,
to the person. How do you do your loving of another person?
By returning to the Father and not hating. So let
Glad
me
to be here.
ask, what is vote a common good? What is vote common good?
Yeah, Vote Common Good is an effort to call evangelical Christians, specifically, and Catholics, to do all that they can to stop the election of Donald Trump and to stop the election of people who support Donald Trump, because our faith calls us to love our neighbor more than we love our political party, and to stop the insurrection that took place on January 6th and all the kinds of actions that would follow from continuing to elect people.
Do you love
in
Donald Trump?
Trump's ilk. I do.
Did you want to stop the insurrection of Black Lives Matter when they committed a terrorist attack upon America during the past summer?
There was no terrorist attack by Black Lives Matter in the summer.
So the burning down of businesses, and robbing and stealing and killing and raping, all that stuff wasn't a terrorist attack?
First of all, Jesse, I'm in Minneapolis. I was literally on those streets.
Wasn't a terrorist attack.
That's happened in my town. And I'll tell you, I know who did it. They've been arrested by the FBI, prosecuted. And you know who they are?
Black Lives Matter.
They're white supremacists.
No, Black
they're not.
Lives Matter.
Look it up.
So let me
look at who
ask.
the FBI arrested, Jesse, because the same people who performed the insurrection
Why
are
do
the
you
same people that
excuse-
performed the lawlessness in Minneapolis.
Why do
There's a
you-
lawlessness in the white supremacy narrative in this country, and it showed up on January 6th, and it has shown up every day in
No
the
such
society.
thing as white
And that's
supremacy.
what we're trying to do to bring an end to it.
There's no such
Because
thing as
Christian
white
nationalism-
supremacy.
Christian
So-
nationalism is the great threat to the society. In fact, the FBI
What is
director
Christian
just
nationalism?
yesterday
I want to
called
ask you.
it-
Duh. Hey,
domestic terrorism, Jesse. Domestic terrorism. Like, we know what
I
domestic
can't waste my
terrorism
time
is.
with this man. Why are you speaking over me, Duh?
I'm not. I'm just finishing the sentence, Jesse.
Why are you talking so long, speaking so long, wasting time?
I'm not wasting time. You asked me about what's going on, and I was trying to
So
answer you.
why do you dismiss the terrorist attack that Black Lives Matter brought up on this country, but you don't dismiss what the white guys did at the Capitol building?
Well, that's what I was just answering you. I'm not dismissing the actions of violence that happened this summer. We know the people who were arrested for those in Minneapolis, they were the same people that attacked the Capitol building on January 6th.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. I'm telling you,
You're
look at the
lying.
FBI records of who's been arrested, who's been prosecuted.
You are lying, Duh.
And it was the same people, Jesse.
Duh.
I was in the streets of Minneapolis.
You're
I was
lying.
right there. And we know the people who did the crimes, and they've been prosecuted
It was
for it. So I'm not lying at
Antifa.
all.
It was Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
No, Jesse, it was not.
And let me ask you this: what is Christian nationalism? Your organization, so-called Christian leaders, is condemning something called Christian nationalism. What is that?
Yeah, Christian nationalism is the belief that the United States is fundamentally a Christian nation and that its government should be led by Christians and should extend Christian privilege and extend Christian teachings as our government.
Amazing.
And that's something that this country has never accepted. And the people who
And I
attacked
hope
the
they
Capitol
never
on
accept.
Yeah, I hope so too. So we're doing all we can to try to drive that out.
Because you people who signed this letter, and it looked like 400 so-called Christians signed it,
Yeah, 2,500.
you people are not of God. Satan is your daddy.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, no, y'all are evil.
No, we're not.
Because you lying and you're pretending that white nationalism exists, and and if a Christian is a nationalist, you act like it's wrong to love your country and be a Christian. You're supposed to love your country. If you love God, how can you not love your country?
No, absolutely.
So all
you love
you
your
people
country.
who signed this thing are evil.
No, we're not evil.
No, y'all
we're
are
not
evil.
saying don't love your country. What we're saying is you love your country by making sure that Christian nationalists don't attack your capital,
How you going to make sure?
harm, and
But-
don't continue to perpetrate
But you're
an
lying
idea
because
of
you're
Christian
pretending
nationalism.
that Black Lives Matter is wonderful and that white people who stand up are wrong. So
Are
you're
you
lying.
telling me that the people who attacked the Capitol were not wrong?
It was wrong to attack the Capitol, but
Okay.
both sides are wrong. Black Lives Matter is as evil as whomever set up the thing at the Capitol.
These guys are never, ever ready for Jesse. Jesse was trolling this man from the very beginning, and he needs to get it. I noticed that he was a little bit triggered, but he tried to keep it all together. He really, I must give it to him. He kept it all together until the end of the interview. He tried, but you see, these liberals. I'm sure if Jesse had asked him if he supported the LGTV community, I'm sure he was going to say yes. You can tell all liberals, they think the same way. They think towards the same direction. Everything evil they support. LGTV, abortion, and all that. They support everything evil. They're never on the side of anything good. That's why I started this channel, Cultural War, and I know that culture is very important, and not only important for us living right now, important for the next generation, because the culture that we cultivate right now and we practice will be passed on to the next generation. That's why we must make sure we uphold the right culture. That's the thing. If you care about your future, if you're not a self-centered person, you care about your children, your next generation, your contribution should be preserving what is right. And what is right is what is godly. God is not an author of confusion. God has his own order, how he created things: man first, woman, and the children. That's why if you look at back, things were well coordinated right now. But you see now that the women and everything is, as they have taken over, they've taken the man out of the family. Families are broken, divorce rate is high, the family is being destroyed. You can see at the same time, culture, moral, everything is being thrown out of the roof. There's chaos everywhere because culture is very important and God's order is very important. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Drop your opinions. I would like to react to them. My name remains Roland. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.